Welcome back to Let's Play Kanon, Standard Edition for the PC. The last episode, Makoto dropped a cat off a bridge, basically. And now she says she never wants to see me again. So, well, Yuichi, not me. I have nothing to do with that. And I think this is the first time this track is played in the game, I think. She asks, seeing who it is. Huh? Isn't she here? I wonder what she's up to. With a sigh, I leave the room again and head for hers. It's empty. Even the mountains of manga and magazines have vanished without a trace. Even the futon, which she never bought or put away during the day, is rolled up in a corner of the room. My aunt materializes behind me. Not just that, she's left. Akiko's surprise is such that it briefly displaces her normal expression of calm. I hope so. Yes, but it was her fault. Well, usually people don't see it that way, do they? They think that they are always right and you are wrong. Maybe I was, but if you ask me, that was the only sensible thing to do. I find it rather hard to sympathize with her impression that animals should be treated like objects. And she pats me on the shoulder. Supper time comes, but Makoto doesn't. I'd been expecting her at least to treat us to a prank phone call, but even that fails to occur. Okay, she's like into pranks and all that, but I don't think she'd even be able to make a prank call. Of course, she'd probably never learned our phone number. Then again, she's supposed to have amnesia, right? So, would that include forgetting how to use a phone properly as well? I mean, she used a phone earlier in the game, but that's besides the point. The three of us who remain eat slowly. Besides, she'd have to use a payphone. The sight of Makoto's portion, covered and set aside, serves only to draw attention to her absence. Don't worry. I expect she just got tired of living here and went back home. I thought all along she was lying about having amnesia. I hope these words would put the others' minds at rest. Fat chance. The night is quiet. Creak, creak, creak. The sound pierces my incised ears or whatever. Somebody is sneaking down the corridor. It can only be she. Presumably, she was ashamed to return in everyone's sight and so has crept back like a thief in the night. I'm sure Kiko was expecting that and left the front door unlocked especially. I rise hurriedly and step out into the corridor. Just a half-asleep Naoki. There's no music, surprisingly. No, I just need to use the toilet. I push past her and head down the stairs. But though I stand in front of the toilet for some time, I find no relief. Sunday, January 17. I awake to a quiet morning. It's been some time since I last slept so well. What with the nightly disturbances that had become a part of life here. With the one who was responsible for all that gone, I'm able to at least rest. But somehow I feel worse this morning than when I hadn't. My head is heavy, and the sunlight fails to lift my spirit. I think I overslept. By the time I'm dressed and downstairs, Akiko and Nayuki are doing the dishes. Breakfast seems to be over already. Nayuki pauses as we pass one another and points in the direction of the kitchen. So I go to the table and eat alone. That afternoon, the once clear sky grays over with heavy clouds. Akiko, carrying a pile of clean washing, looks out of the window with an air of disappointment. It's always snowing though. Well, not always, but usually. I stop beside her. Akiko-san. Damn it, I skipped it. Going out. I'll try to be back in time for supper. It'll probably be cold and all, but that doesn't matter. She smiles. I descend to the hall, lace my shoes tightly, and head out into the freezing air. I waste time wandering aimlessly around the shopping center. It's just that, well, it's just something I want to ascertain with my own two eyes. I come back to the machines in front of the arcade again and again, only stopping when I run out of change. Evening comes long after I've lost count of the number of times I've walked every street from end to end. And then I see that for which I've been looking all this time. There can be no doubt there can't be anyone else in this town with that build, those familiar clothes. Let's see how she's looking. Makoto is standing in front of the shop where she habitually buys her nukeman. So, she did go home then. She probably lives quite close to the shops. Watch her for a while. This is what you've got to do to advance the story for Makoto. Upon further observation, I've realized that she doesn't seem to be purchasing a nukeman. It's not clear what she actually is doing. She's facing the clerk and apparently negotiating hard, probably trying to buy more than she can afford. I pull out my wallet and check its contents. Hopeless girl, I guess I'll have to bail her out. But even as I decide this, she accepts a paper bag and walks away, exuding disappointment. Taking her place, I slip into the shop and attract the clerk's attention. Excuse me, but what was the girl saying? She's a friend of mine. The clerk, a middle-aged woman, the sort that normally takes those part-time jobs, looks over me before replying. That girl, always the glutton. As if one wouldn't be enough. The woman seems unfazed by my angry muttering, waiting for me to make a purchase. Well, can I have two then, please? Nukeman. I managed to stifle the "of course," then try. I had to follow that. Makoto must live nearby. It doesn't take me long to find her again, clutching her paper bag as though it might escape. I follow her from a discreet distance. I'm not going to alert her to my presence before I know for certain that her memory really has returned. Having come this far, I pretty much have to make sure. Besides, I want to be able to provide genuine reassurance to Nayuki and my aunt. Ah, she stops. Are we there? I slip around behind her and look up at the building in front of her. It's the arcade I spent so much time at earlier. Makoto is staring rapidly at a couple of girls using the photo machine in front of it. I lean against the lowered shutter of the shop, opposite to keep an eye on her. My stomach rumbles. I consider eating the nukeman I'm carrying, but decide I can put up with the discomfort for a little longer. These are going to be my goodbye present to Makoto if she ever makes it home tonight. And with that sorted out, I'll be able to go home to one of Akiko's dinners. I can wait for that. If you get a move on. We wait. At last the girls leave, leaving the area around the arcade silent and empty. Makoto glances left and right, then Sidles over to the photo machine. She slips a coin and takes a picture of herself alone. What's she up to now? As ever, her actions are difficult to comprehend. If she's really short of money, how can she afford to waste it on that? After a while, she straightens up, tucking the photos carefully into her purse, and moves off. I blink at the photo machine, which sits placidly there, waiting for another customer. Shaking my head, I turn back to the chase. We leave the shopping center and head out through steep residential streets. Find out what will happen next time. Let's play Kanon. Stand vision for the PC.